Okay, we'd like to welcome Chan Kim into the interview room. He's making his second career start at the Sony Open in Hawaii, his first since 2022. Chan, welcome back. If we can get some thoughts on being here at the Sony Open.
Yeah, it was a special event that I grew up watching as a kid. I remember coming every year and watching these guys just hit it over bunkers where, when I was growing up, I wasn't hitting it very far. So, yeah, it was a special experience. And obviously 2 years ago I played, and that was, I was lucky enough to get an exemption in. Didn't play as well as I wanted to, but it was still a special experience. And now to be a PGA Tour member and to come back here, to start it off, kick everything off here pretty much, in my hometown, it's a treat.
Yeah, outstanding year last year on the Korn Ferry Tour with 2 wins. Just take us back to your year on the Korn Ferry last year, and then also your goals for the season.
Yeah, so I played pretty well for most of the season. I had a little hiccup there just before I had the 2 wins. I had missed 3 cuts in a row. Starting to get a little frustrated since we didn't have too many events left to try and secure a tour card. So, I knew I had to get something going. I went over to the Butch Harmon schools in Henderson right after Salt Lake City. Drove down there, had 2 days of lessons, and kind of figured out it was something very simple, as most times it is. We tend to overthink stuff. So, just something super simple. Went the next week into Omaha, made the cut. So that in itself to me was an accomplishment. And even in Jersey, didn't really start off as well as I would have loved to, but that final round, the back 9, I think I may have gone like 5 under on the back 9 to shoot 8 under for the day and finish at 20 under, win that week, go next week, hitting it the same, confidence levels are high, and made 28 birdies, no bogeys, so that was a very special win to me, and so I'm just fortunate to be here. I think a good goal definitely is, just start off with a good tournament here, try and finish top 10. And I mean, at the end of everything, I'd love to be inside the top 50 and to get into the signature events and the majors next year.
All right, 28 birdies and no bogeys, that usually worked out pretty well. So, we'll open it up to questions.
Chan, how'd you get on what was your route to the Korn Ferry Tour?
So I played over in Japan for 8 years. I believe the category changed this year, but when I was still there, I believe it was a top 5 in the money rankings get to final stage of Korn Ferry Tour Q School. So it was about the right time because the Korn Ferry Tour was getting more road ranking points, and the Japan Tour was going to reduce it by probably about 60% or so. And there was 30 cards on the line. So to me, it was kind of a no-brainer. I have a 5-year exemption in Japan. I figured, you know what, if there's any time to do it, it's probably now.
Has it been kind of an interesting road, wanting to be here, but I mean, you're still making a nice living.
Right. Yeah. The money out in Japan was good, but a year of sacrifice playing on a Korn Ferry Tour, which I mean, their purses went up as well. It's actually been amazing. It's an incredible experience. But yeah, when you have 30 cards on the line, it's just kind of a no-brainer.
Your first big paycheck in Japan, were you very good at converting yen at that point?
I was not, no. So when I first saw it online, after the tournament had concluded, I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, it's saying something like 20 million yen, and I'm just like, I don't know what that equates to in U.S. dollars, but it looks good. So. So I was running around telling people I'm a millionaire just in Japanese yen. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, over here. Okay.
One more on what I've got. Just out of curiosity, given the places you've played, the path you've taken, if you took someone like Keita Nakajima, who had a choice of Korn Ferry or DP World Tour, 10 cards in Europe, was it
30 cards, yep.
What advice would you give him?
Honestly, for me, and I've played some golf with Keita, obviously a really, really talented player. I know when I played here 2 years ago, he played really well here. I think that with his game and how far he hits it, the Korn Ferry Tour would have been great. I think that he would have done really, really well. But he's one of those players I feel like he could go anywhere and play really well. So preferably I would have told him to come to the Corn Ferry Tour. 30 cards versus 10. You know, you just have, it's just odds, right? But yeah, I mean, if he feels like he can do it on the DP World Tour, then by all means, you know, I would support him either way.
All right, Dave.
First of all, I want to correct you on something, because I remember back in 2006 when you were state champ in high school, you did hit the ball pretty far. What's it feel? I mean, to be, how old are you now? 33?
33.
And to be, I mean, you've been around the world and you've played in majors and stuff, but what's it like to be a 33-year-old rookie?
Yeah, you know, well, I would have loved to have been a rookie when I was 23, but you know, sometimes that doesn't work out. So, you know, just to be here, have this experience, know that, you know, it's been a lifelong goal. Ever since I started golf, I knew I wanted to play on the PGA Tour, and kind of create a legacy, I guess, on this tour. So, 33, body's probably feeling 43. So, you know, arguably I'd say I'm a rookie at 43. But yeah, I mean, just to be here, have this opportunity, you know, I mean, I can't even put it into words. So I'm excited.
Okay, look, all those things you went through for those 10 years, those things are going to help you now, right?
Yeah, I think that, you know, playing all over the world in different conditions, you know, all different types of grass and you know, so, you know, we've played tree lined in Japan, and you've got some other wide open courses on the Corn Ferry Tour. You know, but I think the most valuable one is definitely learning how to win. You know, I've won 8 times out in Japan, twice on the Corn Ferry Tour last year. I think the experiences from Japan, winning over in Japan, carried over into the Corn Ferry Tour, knew how to handle myself in the final round or, you know, the third round. And hopefully I'm hoping that all of those experiences will now help me, you know, if I'm going down the stretch, leading a golf tournament or close to the lead, I'll know exactly what to do, what kind of mentality I need to have, and hopefully I can end up with a win.
All right, Dad.
Did you come to this event as a kid? Do you have some favorite memories?
Yeah, I don't know if I should really say this one on camera, but I remember coming out. I've probably been out about 3-4 years in a row. Came out to play. I just remember we were standing on the first tee, just watching. Aaron Bailey was probably one of my most favorite players at the time, and you know, I'm sitting there as a, you know, 13, 14-year-old, and he's getting ready to tee off, and there's all these ladies, and, you know, they're just all talking about how good he looks and whatnot. And, you know, I'm just there to watch the golf. I'm 12 at the time, 13 at the time. Not, you know, I don't know what they're really talking about. But now that I think back on it, you know, it's just kind of funny. Like, you know, obviously a very attractive guy and probably very popular. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I used to come out here, watch these guys. You know, I would kind of see and learn, you know, from certain situations, you know, are they hitting it higher? Are they hitting it lower? Those are some things I was looking for. And obviously how far they hit the ball. Like I said, it was truly amazing.
How much support do you have this week out here?
Yeah, I've still got quite a lot of family friends out here. And my first golf coach, second and third, they're all here. So I know that they're going to come out and watch the tournament and watch me play, which is very special. Hopefully, I know 2 years ago, I hate to bring up this stat, but I believe I was third in proximity to the hole and I missed a cut. So I'm hoping to change my luck on the greens this year and see what I can do in front of the hometown crowd.
What's the course you grew up on?
All-Hawaii Golf Course. It's probably the nation's most busy muni golf course that you'll find. I've been there, you know, at 4:30 in the morning to sign up. There was a wait list, and you know, we'd finish up. I'd end up teeing off at 10 o'clock. You know, so but it was, you know, I think we had a junior pass. It was $20 for 29 hole rounds. So it's $1 per 9 holes, you know, and you just can't get that anywhere else. So, yeah, I think that's a part of the reason why I was able to get so much practice in and improve in a really short time.
All right, Doug.
3 questions, Shannon, and then
Yep.
I'll hang up and listen, I swear. What is SMED, and how long has that been on your hat?
Actually, it just started this year. I know that we had negotiated with Ping, and you know, I'm very fortunate that they were willing to give up the front of the hat. Met with Cole Smead, who runs Smead Capital Investments, and you know, they were looking for a player. It came down to me and one other player. I don't know who it is, but you know, my manager Ben Harrison from Sport 5, he's done a really good job for me, and so I'm just very fortunate to have them and have their support, and hopefully I have something to show for it.
Second question. None of these are related to the others, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you consider to be Hawaii's greatest golfer ever?
Wow, that's a tough one. That's yeah, you know, because you know, obviously Dean Wilson's won on tour. You know, Parker's played on tour, and obviously another excellent player. Then you've got, you know, David Ishii, who I had lessons from, and he's won this event and won multiple times in Japan. Won the Order of Merit. Yep, and then obviously you have Tad, who was probably one of the coolest stories that you could have ever thought of. You know, at 16, 16, and he's, you know, hitting drives 300 yards, and like, I just saw a video of when he made that eagle putt on 18, and like still gives me chills. So there's so many good players to choose from that I don't want to get in trouble for saying the wrong one.
You've done an excellent job, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When you were at the Sony, is the 12-year-old, were you an autograph seeker at all?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Anyone turn you down? We don't care about who gave you. You want to say,
Yes, and I was a bit upset at the time if I didn't get it. But now that I'm kind of in that situation, I understand. I mean, you know, if guys have work to do, like we're going to get it done before we do anything else. You know, after the round, I've gone to sign my scorecard. I've come back out. Absolutely. I mean, I can stand there all day. I have no problem with that. There are times where, you know, if you're crossing from, let's say, 13 to 14, and, you know, there's kids there, like, you really want to. Like, I know a lot of these guys really want to. It's just that, you know, we're in the middle of a tournament, a middle of a round. So it's just kind of tough to, like, sign all these things and then try and get back into tournament mode. But I try to do it as much as I can. I think that it's a great player-fan relationship, and, you know, you can gain support of other fans that don't even know you yet or whatnot. So
we're not getting a name, are we?
no, absolutely not. That was a good try, though. I'll give you that.
To me, Jen, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Starting in your position, not in the signature events yet,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel you're at a disadvantage compared with those who are?
That's a very interesting question, because we brought that up. Somebody brought that up during our orientation for the new member orientation, and said that, you know, these guys are getting 750, you know, FedEx Cup points versus, I think it's like 500 or something like that. But look, I mean, the guys who are playing the signature events are the best of the best, and they deserve every bit to be playing these events. You know, but a win on any given week could change that for anybody. You know, a couple top tens and a win, and, you know, next year you're going to be in their position anyways. So, you know, I've heard this all year last year. David Bray, who was the Ping rep for the Corn Ferry Tour, he just said, you know, all you got to do is play better. So, you know, that's the goal. Just play better, and everything will take care of itself.
You're aware of that whole Sony Palm Springs Torrey stretch to try and get into the next one?
Yes, yeah. I was hoping to get into waste management as well, because I currently live in Gilbert, Arizona, and I've got friends that have lived there or are still living there. Some guys are even like, you know, if you get in, we're flying over. You know, but that's a very tough event to get into, regardless of if it's a signature event or not. And you know, it'd be nice to get in. If I definitely don't think I'm going to get in, I will definitely do the Monday to give myself a chance. But like I said, you know, if I play well here next week and the week after, I mean, everything's going to take care of itself. So.
Okay, so when you went to Kamakee, you were not a district exception, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
you live pretty close to here. How can you tell me, like, how many blocks or miles or whatever?
Okay, yeah. So
do you still live around here?
no, my parents, my sister and I, we all moved to Arizona. We were the only ones in Hawaii. When I was first growing up, I lived on the cross of Kapiolani Boulevard and Dade Street. So that's literally from our balcony, I could see Kaimaki High School, right? So used to see the marching bands practice and, you know, football games and whatnot just from, you know, from the 9th floor balcony. So I thought it'd be, you know, pretty cool to go there as a kid. Went to Alawai Elementary, which was, you know, a 10-minute scooter ride away. That's what I, you know, a little Razor scooter, and that was the in thing then. Then we moved just to, like, literally right on the intersection of Kapiolani and Dade Street, at an apartment there. And from there I would go to, you know, I'd skateboard then, you know, because that was the next cool thing to do. So I would skateboard to Washington Middle, and then I believe where we lived last was on Eno Road, which is just across the bridge from the convention center heading into Waikiki. And I'd skateboard from there to Kaimaki. So, we definitely couldn't afford to play here. It was, you know, I know the membership here is pretty strict, which I think is a good thing. I believe the members have to vote you in here as well. So, you know, it's a tight circle here. And, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I had fun playing Alawai growing up. If I went back and played, I'd still have a blast there. I also grew up playing at Pearl Country Club since David Ishii was out there. But yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of great golf courses. You know, we used to have junior tournaments at Turtle Bay. Obviously, States was at Turtle Bay. You know, Hawaii Prince, all of those golf courses.
Was David instrumental in getting you to play in Japan?
Yeah. So he told me we're sitting in the pro shop at Pearl Country Club one day, and he's telling me, look, you know, I understand that you want to get to the PGA Tour, and, you know, you're very talented, but, you know, he was like, you have to look at other options in case it doesn't work out. And he was like, you know, I played in Japan for however many years, and it's a great place to start, and I'm sure the money was better when I played than when he played. But, yeah, I mean, I took that advice. I started off in Canada, played in Canada for 2 years, went over, played the Asian Tour, then played the European Challenge Tour, then played in Japan for 8 years, then the Korn Ferry, and then now here. So I've played just about everywhere you could think of. But, yeah, like I said, I think that everybody has a different path, and I don't regret the choices that I've made or which tours I've decided to play on. So the end goal was just to get here, and now I'm here. So, yeah.
What's the first time you played this course?
It was actually the year that Tad qualified, I believe. So that would have been 2005, 6, somewhere in this, 2006. We had something called the Governor's Cup qualifying at the time. It was 12 amateurs for one spot and 12 pros for one spot. And I think I'm pretty sure I was playing with Tad, if I remember correctly, during that qualifying round. And we were big rivals growing up. And so I was just like, man, like, I think all I got to do is beat Tad. And he whooped me pretty good. So, you know, he deserved every bit of playing this event, and obviously he showed it when he made the cut and played really well. So
You got in the States, though.
yeah, that was a big one because inside story. So we had our so there's a Hawaii State Championships, and then there's like the Oahu, just for people from Oahu, and we played it at Alawai, and we ended up tying after 2 days. So they went to a scorecard playoff, and I ended up winning the scorecard playoff. Well, obviously, that's not how they should have handled it. And so I believe the Moanalua coach called in and said, look, like, that's not fair. So what they did was they named us co-champions the next day. And I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, I mean, we should have done a playoff. So I don't mind it. And so, leading up to states, it was a very big deal. It's me and him. Whoever wins it is basically taking all the cake, right? So, gosh, I remember I played with him that second round at states, and he's starting to make birdies, and I'm just like kind of like hanging in there making pars, and I think he went for the green on 18, and he had put it in the water, and I had hit it left safe, So I was just like, just gotta keep it on dry land, chip it up, 2-putt, get out of there. And so I hit this, hit an iron out to the left, and I hit this chip, and I remember I pretty much bladed it, I believe, and it kind of like caught the edge of the rough and then like trickled by the whole, like, I don't know, 5 feet or something, 5-6 feet. I think I ended up making that putt, and so yeah, that was a big deal. That state championship was a very, very big deal.
Did you ever do any U.S. Open qualifiers here?
I think I tried once. This must have been when I was 16. Didn't go very well. There were a lot of good players at that time. So,
All right.
Yep, no problem.
Chan, thank you for your time, and
Yeah,
best of
no
luck
problem.
this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thanks for having me.